All right, we live with it. We live with it. Okay, fix that audio issue. So I figured I'd do a little live stream today since seems like the economy seems to come to a screeching halt almost. You know, the tires have been smoked and everything's at standstill. But I'll give it a minute. Let just a few people get in, y'all. If anybody shows up.
It's me. I'm coming. I can. Oh, sorry.
Let's see here. All right. Oh, here's my phone. I'm gonna check the playback and make sure the volume is good. Give me a second. Let's see here. How do I get to it? Oh, I'm gonna mute up real quick. Let's see here. What's going on, Gab? Naima. Well, I'm gonna mute up real quick and check the playback, see where my volume's at. Live with it. Okay. Fix that audio issue. Okay. Well, it was playing the whole time. Whatever. All right. Audio is good. So, welcome, everyone. Today's topic is going to be the four types of men in regards to polygamy. Uh, I've talked about this previous past in videos. I said I was going to do the video on this a long time ago, and it's not exactly to the context that I was going to do originally, but I think this is a more oversight specific to what I understand in regards to men, women, their exchanges and whatnot. But on this one, I'm going to go down the range of it because it seems to be that. Let me mute my computer. At least turn the volume down. There we go. But it seems to be that everyone has their understanding about what polygamy is and how it fits into their life, if it doesn't or not whatsoever. But here's one thing that here's a few things that I understand as usual. Um, there are four types. And women, you cannot escape these four types of men, and men, you're more than likely one of these four types. Um, and coincidentally, the other four types of men that I was going to do in regards to how men exist amongst each other kind of correlates to how men exist in polygamy, the four types of those. So, this probably is not going to be a super long video because it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to go into the individual types and whatnot and uh, just go from there with it. But like I said, it shouldn't be long, but let's see how it goes. So, anyways, how I came to the conclusion of what these four types are is I thought about what are the possibilities. What are the possibilities in which a way a man can exist in regards to his sexual interests or his social standings with women and how he sees himself. And this is how I came up with this list because I've been each one of these guys at different stages of my life, but I believe it's an ascension phase for some, and it's just innately so for others. So let's go down the list. I don't have anything in front of me or anything like that, so this is all off the top of my head. So if I miss something, I'll make a subsequent video, probably addressing those things or Uh, I'll caption it or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure out something to make up for the lost information. But so I've had this conversation with many women across my time, and the end the end result, especially women who aren't for polygamy at all, but the end result of the conversations that I have is the women they usually say, "Well, I'm just not going to do anything then," because it's hard to refute the way that I put it. And I stopped and thought, like, I haven't done a video on that before. Um, I probably should go ahead and get that on out there. So here I am. So generally, how I start the conversation off, I usually ask women what are their expectations of men, and they usually say, "Well, I expect a man to be with me forever and not think of any other woman, et cetera, stuff like." And then I start challenging their thoughts on that, um, and then I present them with the four types. So I'm going to start with the less abundant, and then go to the more abundant types of men, because that'll help segue into hopefully a large spectrum conversation, which may bring up some questions that I can answer while I'm here live. Um, so the least abundant out of these four is the man, and I haven't named them at all. Um, so I'm just going to uh, differentiate them by description. Um, the man, the fourth type, that's the least abundant, is the man who understands his nature, does not act upon it, um, and does not want to deal with women. Uh, and he's honest about his nature, even though he doesn't want to act upon it. He will staunchly tell you that this is just the way he is, and he doesn't deal with women. Um, the third most abundant type is the type of man that I am, or the third least rather. Um, it's the man who understands his nature, acts on his masculinity, and he openly expresses it unapologetically. That is the type of man that I am. I have no issue with coming to who I am, um, and being open with that. The reason why, and I call this the third least populace of the man that I am in abundance. In regards to abundance, I call it the third least population group. How can I put it? The third what's the word I'm looking for? The third, you know what I'm saying? It's not that many of us. I'm so at a loss for words now. I don't know what is going on. But anyways, I call that this is the pinnacle, because it gets you closer to um, the truth. Because the truth of the matter is, the man that is the least, that's in lesser than I am, as far as abundance goes. He understands his nature, but yet he doesn't want to act upon it. But the most excuses or reasons that I've heard for the reason why they don't act upon it is because they don't want to be held victim to um, the system, so called. Uh, the gynocracy, pretty much, which I definitely understand. So the best way to play the game is not to play at all. But you don't, without any risk, you don't gain anything. And that's the way I look at it. So you still have a loss deficit on your ability, because there are parts of you that you are not utilizing to the best of your benefit, the best of your ability as well, to your benefit. Um, so that's the reason why I say the pinnacle that I am is the highest ascension that you can get out of these four men. So moving along, the second man is the man who understands his nature. He acts upon it, but he is dishonest about it. Um, that is the reason why I say that's the second most abundant, is because these are the men who get married. These are the men who believe in relationships. Um the common monogamous relationships. These are the men who have a bit of dishonesty to them, because they understand their nature, but yet they want to express it, and they don't want to be honest about it, because of whatever repercussions they fear. They don't have any honor in the way that they carry themselves. They fear the outcome. They fear um, the repercussions, maybe some reprisal. They fear what the public or the society is going to think of them. It's so many things that they fear, that they are not willing to stand firmly on their belief systems and who they are. Even though they may believe that they want more than one woman, they will not tell you the truth because they have a social um, hierarchy that they would like to participate in. In that participation, it is necessary um, that you present yourself a certain way. Um, so that is the second most abundant male that a woman can meet or that is out there. The first most abundant is the man who has no idea that this is the reason why he does the things that he does. Um, he has no qualms with uh, becoming a man who doesn't have any interaction with women, then shifting over to a man who lies to women, then shifting over to a man um, who uh, who is openly honest with women about his nature in regards to polygamy, him dealing with multiple women. But he does this because his masculinity has not solidified him into such a state where he understands himself. Um, and through that, you'll get what, like I said, I've said it earlier, but you'll get, not in early in the stream, but out in public, but uh, you'll get what is referred to as a fuckboy. That's pretty much what they boil down to. That's what they look like. That's what they are. They're men who will say what they need to say in order to get what they want to get, according to whatever the situation calls for. They have no honor, and they lack in they lack the ability to look inside themselves. To the reason why they do the things they do, they're just low vibration men, pretty much. They don't give off much energy, and they take more than they ever give for what they're getting. Um, so those are the generally the four types of men that you're going to run to in regards to polygamy. Now, what this turns into is a that's not me, or there has to be some guy out here that doesn't fit that bill. Not really. You're looking for a needle in a haystack, literally, because the majority of men that you're going to meet um, are the men that are in your life. They're your fathers, your brothers, your friends. They're these men that I've listed, these four men that I've listed on this list. They're the men that you're more than likely going to run into. Um, Now, there are men who will change based upon their principality of what works for them according to what their desire is, and they you're going to have honor in that, but it is based on what works for you, not what works for you right now. And it's also based upon what is the best outcome for everyone involved in that situation. um, and I tell women all the time, like, you're not gonna meet this so-called monogamous guy. And if you do, then he's probably one of the two, between the dude who's lying about uh, his monogamous traits, so-called, and the dude who is just trying to say whatever he needs to say to get what he wants right now, or for as long as he wants it. Those are the most guys you're going to run into. That is the pseudo monogamous guys, because there's no such thing as true monogamy between humans for 99% of our population, and that's scientifically proven. So, like I've said in other videos, the common thing that people do today is called effective polygamy. That's a sociological term. You can look into it. It is a very esoteric type of thing, so you're not going to find a lot of works on it. But there is information out there on that. I believe I posted it on my "Are You Polygamous" video, um, and there's a link under that one that goes into the uh, the sociology backing for effective polygamy. Uh, but you're not going to run into a guy who doesn't practice this in some way, shape, or form. And for the guys who say, one isn't my limit, and they really mean it, yeah, definitely. I mean, sure, there are some guys out there who operate that way, But once again, I've said in a previous video that that is because they lack the confidence or the ability to take care of more than one woman. But as soon as they get that confidence or ability, you best believe that monogamous stance is going to change. And you never know when that is, especially as a man, because you can hit the lottery, or something. Your great uncle on your mom's side could die and left you an inheritance. I mean, there are crazy things that happen. So there are things that can change the status of whether this guy is monogamous or not, but it won't change the status that if he's polygamous. That's not going to change. That is the nature of men. Um, and it kind of sucks because it puts a bad stigma upon the men who actually practice polygamy with honor, because these men come in half cocked because they want to bring over some of their dishonorable and their sneaky ways into the polygamous fold. But I guess that's part of the overall umbrella of it, because you're not going to have everyone who takes the stands of righteousness actually be righteous. So I guess that's an unfair expectation on my part. But nonetheless, it's still a pain in my side because it gives people like me and people who practice it honorably a really bad reputation. So anyway, like I said, this video wasn't going to be super duper long. I just wanted to do this live stream because I had the opportunity to, with all this craziness going on. But hopefully that gives you all a better insight on the four types of men out there. If someone comes up with any more types of men according to the criteria that I've given in this earlier portion of the video, just let me know. I mean, my email address is pretty much the same as my name. It's just at gmail.com. But like I've said, I've thought very thoroughly on this. And, I don't really talk on here unless I actually have something to say that's of substance that I've actually put really thought into. So, my challenge is always standing in regards to someone to challenge my logic. And I don't mind sensible debates at all. That is what helps me compound and sharpen my sword of knowledge. So with that said, hey, how's it going, Rainy Woman? I ain't seen you in a minute. But with that said, if anyone has any questions, I'll go ahead and answer them because I know I don't go live that often. So, and I know certain people when they see me, they would like to ask me questions. So even if it's not about this topic, I can briefly go over them, or we can go in depth about it depending on what the question is. So if anyone here of my three little viewers have any questions, just let me know, and I'll go ahead and answer those. I'll give it a few minutes. I'll put it on mute while I wait. Well, it seems that no one has any questions, so I'll go ahead and end this video because, like I said, I don't want it to be super long. But anyways, may peace be with you, and may you have a good day.